Elite Facts presents
Crazy crimes committed in Florida that will have you laughing in tears.
9.
Elderly Florida man caught masturbating in McDonald's parking lot claims his privacy was invaded. Okay, so we're only including this one story about a Florida citizen masturbating in public because, well, while doing research for this list, we actually found thousands of stories about people whacking off in public areas. What the hell? Is this some kind of hobby in Florida? Anyway, in this particular instance, some dumbass decided to whack off at the Golden Arches. Apparently, when deputies arrived to investigate the goings-on, they found a man, later identified as Spencer Toner, sitting in a Mercedes-Benz looking at pornographic pictures on a small laptop while whipping up some special sauce from his Big Mac. One of the deputies knocked on the car window, and Toner immediately shut off his laptop, rolled down the window, and told them he was there to, quote, get a bite to eat. Toner said he was homeless and living out of his car, and that the deputies were invading his privacy. You heard right, they were invading his privacy in a public area while he was hamburgering his McWiener. Just because he's doing it in a Mercedes doesn't make it any better. Oh, and next time a buddy of mine asks me to get a bite to eat, I'm gonna think twice.
8.
Florida man flashes buttocks at Ihop after impersonating a police officer to get free food. So admittedly, getting free meals from Ihop is pretty great. Unfortunately, you can only get that deal once a year, on your birthday. But someone found a way to beat the system. Well, at least he thought he did, by attempting to impersonate a cop in order to get a free meal. 55-year-old Matt Skida entered the IHOP at about 1 a.m., and when a server asked if he had any money, he said, quote, "No, but I'm a cop and I get food for free." Because, you know, that's how it works. Police get everything for free, apparently. According to a police report obtained by the Orlando Sentinel, Skida then threatened to beat up the IHOP server and shouted, quote, "Hey buddy," before dropping his pants and mooning the IHOP employee. Hey, maybe he thought the free food was served in the rear.
7.
Florida man claims wife was kidnapped by holograms. This Florida man, whose name has not been released, was, quote, extremely agitated and holding a baseball bat when officials showed up to investigate. According to a sheriff's report, the agitated man told them that some men abducted his wife and that, quote, they used holograms to project signals on the walls to get him to do what they wanted and to communicate with each other. The responding deputy located the woman in question, who was at a nearby mobile home with the man's aunt. The aunt told investigators that the woman was drunk and that no one had chased her. I'll have whatever that guy was smoking.
6.
Florida man attacks nephew over undercooked noodles. At about midnight at the Gardenia Gardens apartments, a man by the name of Newton cooked some noodles. Now, Newton's nephew informed him that the noodles he had made were undercooked. Common mistake, right? Well, depending on what type of noodles they were, it seems like a quick fix, right? Just chuck them back in the pot or microwave and cook them a little bit more. No problem. Well, according to the official report, Newton didn't see it as an easy fix. Newton started screaming and shoved his nephew in the face. So the nephew left and went to another apartment in the complex. But Newton followed him. They started arguing again, and according to the report, Newton rushed towards his nephew with a knife while making slashing motions. During questioning, Newton said he had been drinking and said the alcohol has been known to affect his demeanor. He said the argument never got physical and he denied picking up any knife. Now, with all the scary criminals and murderers in prison, can you imagine being sent there for attempting to stab your nephew for complaining that you undercooked some noodles? What an embarrassing way to go to jail. Just better pray you don't end up in a cell next to a guy convicted of fondling his noodle in a McDonald's parking lot. Am I right?
5.
Florida man accidentally butt dials 911 while cooking meth with his mom. So admittedly, it sucks when you accidentally pocket dial someone. It's inconvenient for you, and it's annoying for the person who's receiving the call. But could you imagine accidentally calling the police while doing something illegal? Well, that's actually what happened to someone, and a police operator stayed on the line for nearly a half an hour listening to them talk about making and selling methamphetamine. According to a police report, quote, the operator also detected a bubbling sound as if something was cooking. During the 911 call, the police dispatcher reported that a man who identified himself as Tommy said that he was on probation and complained that a police official had been watching him. Sounds like he better call Saul.
4.
Florida man escapes prison to buy beer and no one notices. Prison sucks, but you know what would make a prison sentence much more tolerable? Beer, of course. One Florida inmate told deputies that he escaped a work detail and went to the Metro Food Mart. He planned to smuggle chewing tobacco, cartons of cigarettes, and alcoholic beverages back to the Sumter Correctional Institute in Busch. Video from the store shows that the inmate changed out of his inmate uniform before going into the store. He then returned to his work crew without corrections officers noticing. Exactly where he put all these items to smuggle them in has not been revealed, but he was noted to be walking funny when he re-entered the prison.
3.
Florida man throws an alligator into a Wendy's drive-thru window. Drive-thru pranks are getting more and more ridiculous these days, whether it's like the old Jackass CKY videos where they're chucking drinks through the drive-thru window, obscure references we know, or simply scaring the staff with crazy Halloween or clown costumes. Like seriously, there are hundreds of videos like that. The pranks are usually either ridiculous or downright stupid. Well, this one crossed the line. Back in February of 2016, a 23-year-old Florida man named Joshua James went to a drive-thru restaurant and made his own delivery. He pulled into the drive-thru of a Wendy's in Loxahatchee at around 1:30 a.m., and after the server handed him a drink, he reached into the back of his truck, grabbed a freaking 3.5-foot-long alligator, and threw it through the restaurant's drive-thru window. We're not even joking. James then quickly drove away, leaving the staff to deal with the gator situation. The restaurant workers were fast to call the police to come get the small but dangerous gator out of their restaurant. Police were able to track down James via surveillance footage and his credit card purchases. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and unlawful possession and transportation of an alligator. The alligator was then released in a nearby canal. See you later, alligator.
2.
Florida man attacks a dancing flamingo at Busch Gardens. A 45-year-old Florida man was arrested while visiting Busch Gardens, Tampa with his family after he decided to reach into one of the on-site animal pens and attack a dancing flamingo. According to WFLA, Joseph Anthony Corio picked up one flamingo and set it down unharmed. He then picked up a second flamingo, whose name was Pinky, and when his mother told him to stop harassing the birds, put the bird down so forcefully its foot was almost completely severed from its leg. Here's a question: why is a 45-year-old man at Busch Gardens with his mommy? Anyway, Corio was arrested and charged with felony animal cruelty. The amusement park released a statement saying that the flamingo had to be humanely euthanized due to the severely traumatic injuries sustained in the assault. The statement went on to say, quote, Pinky was a beloved member of the Busch Gardens Tampa Bay family and made many appearances on behalf of the park's conservation and education efforts. She will be sorely missed.
1.
Florida man assaults his boss with frozen hamburger. Anyone who works for a disrespectful boss has probably imagined punching that boss square in the face every now and again. But have you ever considered assaulting said horrible boss with a frozen piece of prime USDA beef? No, because that would be completely insane, right? Well, not when you're talking about stories originating in Florida. 29-year-old fast food worker Russell Francis Gomez showed up late to work at the restaurant The Crystal, and when he found out he would be written up for the infraction, Gomez did what any normal person would do when expressing his displeasure to his boss. He sat down like an adult, listened, and had an intelligent discussion with his boss about tardiness and its effect on the workplace environment, and then apologized and said he wouldn't let it happen again. We're kidding. He started throwing frozen hamburger patties at his boss. As he chucked the frozen chuck, the store manager tried to escape to his office, and Gomez began knocking over equipment and pouring cooking oil on the floor. Apparently, as Gomez's tantrum continued, other Crystal employees helped customers escape the meaty bombardment. Gomez then moved on to other forms of property damage. According to a police department statement, he, quote, flipped the circuit breakers, overturned trash cans, and damaged electronic equipment. Gomez tried to flee the scene, but two customers blocked him from leaving because he was, quote, saying he was going to return and making threats towards the manager. Gomez then spat in the face of one of the customers who had grabbed and restrained him until police arrived. Ba-da-da-da-da. Not loving it. And that's our list. Did we leave any crazy Florida stories out that you know about? Let us know in the comments below, and please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more elite facts.